This is a very interesting article because it begs the question: how much do you really own at the end of the day? Okay, you purchased a game on say Xbox, but Xbox, at least Xbox One isn't going to remain the same. Eventually, they're going to teeter out of Xbox One and move to Xbox Series X or whatever other series that they will have in the next 20 years. And the older ones will fade away, but at least in the Xbox 360 age and Xbox original age, you have the physical disc, so though you might not be able to play online, you still own the game and you can still play the game. But nowadays, most people own digital copies of games, and some games are always have to be online, even in the damn single player, which is dumb. Or you have a multiplayer only game where if you just don't have the multiplayer or Xbox Gold, that whole game's pretty much useless. But there's this article: PlayStation Store removes purchased movies from libraries after services shut down. Studio Canal films and TV shows in Germany and Austria will disappear next month. So, effectively, they purchased these movies and they're going bye bye. They're just disappearing. It's like what? Something I paid for, I'm just not gonna have anymore. Like what is this? And again, it just begs the question: how much do you really own, or are you paying for the rights, or have you paid for the rights to have a thing? And at any point in time, say Steam or Xbox or PlayStation can be like, oh, well, we don't want to support this anymore. Therefore, the game you paid for, well, sucks to suck. Now, I know on PC, with all the emulators and all that, I feel like even if Steam was to go down, they will make a way for you to still be able to play the games because the files exist, the executable exists on the computer. It just runs through Steam as a third party app, pretty much. And I feel like there will be a way to actually play your games, even if Steam was to go bye bye tomorrow. Sony is removing access to hundreds of movies and TV shows on its PlayStation Store service next month, meaning users that previously paid for titles such as Paddington and The Hunger Games will no longer be able to watch them. The shutdown affects users in Germany and Austria, according to legal notices posted on two region sites. Posted on the two region sites, and covers films produced by Studio Canal. This doesn't really seem legal. Like, I know in the EU they have this Bureau of Consumer Protection, whatever it's called, and it's paid by the taxpayer, and you don't even need to cite a reason. You can just say, "Oh yeah, this company's fucking with me," and they just pretty much hire a whole team of lawyers to fuck with that company. It's what happened with CD Projekt Red when they released the Cyberpunk, that broken fucking game. I know another story where a guy in Russia called an employee at Steam the N word. Then they shut down his library with like $2,000 worth of games. He went to the EU, even though it was in Russia, and uh, pretty much sued them. And he won that case because you don't get to take away a consumer's product that they paid hard earned cash for just because they called someone that worked for your company a bad word. Like, they do not give a shit. So I do believe there will be some level of retaliation in this instance. And it's 100% warranted. The shutdown will come into force on August 23rd, exactly 1 year after Sony discontinued movies and TV show purchases through its digital store. At the time, Sony said that customers will still be able to access previously purchased content. Notices posted on the PlayStation website blame evolving licenses agreements with content producers. TV and via machine translation for the change, and say that purchased content will be removed from customers' video libraries. Again, I don't know why they just don't reimburse the customers, like, or at least I don't know, give them some in-store currency, whatever. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than just slapping your balls in their face and being like, "Yep, those movies you paid for, see ya." According to Variety, the change affects 314 titles in Germany and 137 in Austria. Affected titles include Chicken Run, John Wick, La La Land, Legion, Logan Lucky, Saw, Shaun the Sheep movie, and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. What the fuck type of goofy ass name is that? It's unclear whether refunds will be offered to affected customers. I mean, again, if it doesn't, I think people have a legal suit against, I believe it would be PlayStation or Studio Canal. While we've gotten used to the idea that TV shows and films can disappear from streaming services over time, leaving them inaccessible to subscribers, it's much rarer to see it happen on services that let you buy titles to own digitally. I mean, when was that? Yeah. But again, it's odd. People actively are okay with this. Like, I think the term rolling around is you'll own nothing and you'll be happy by the World Economic Forums. And there's another one where, like, this. I hate when I say this person from somewhere that I completely forgot to see, because I read a lot of information, but some of it just doesn't stick in my mind because I just read it and was like, oh, this is interesting. Then I completely forget about it. But I know there was a government official, a political official in Europe that's like, oh, well, you don't want to own the phone, you just want the function of the phone. And I'm like, well, those things aren't entirely mutually exclusive. I mean, whether it is the function or not, I think they're one and the same. I mean, okay, if I don't pay my phone bill, I lose the function of calling other people, but it's still my phone. It still has my files on it, and my music and my photos, music from 2010. So no, I don't just I want the phone and the function are the same. That's not to say it's unheard of that Flickster video shutdown. Pocket Lint reported that some titles weren't kept compatible with the Google Play migration process that was meant to allow UK customers to continue to have access to them. Apple's use of the word buy for digital titles that it reserves the rights to revoke. So effectively, they're like, oh yeah, I mean, you pay money for this, but at any point in time, we can take it away from you. And again, I think in 2016, this would be like unheard of. Like, imagine, again, paying full price for a product, but then having the company be like, I don't know, we're going to take this away from you. We're going to revoke this thing that you paid for from you. That just that just doesn't seem right. Okay. Right to revoke access to has even been challenged legally in the past. Yeah, because again, consumer rights. I don't understand this idea that, okay, you purchase something from me, but I can take it back, but you're pretty much not even, you don't own the thing that you purchased. You're pretty much purchasing the rights to use the thing. I mean, what? So is it like a subscription? Like a one-time payment subscription? Now I understand like a mortgage for your house, but the idea is if you pay the mortgage, you own the house. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. If you don't own the house. The shutdown service as a crucial. The shutdown serves as a crucial reminder that even when you buy a digital title, your ownership often still relies on the retailer continuing to exist and having the correct licensing deals in place. If you want to guarantee ownership forever, then physical purchases are still your best bet. Although not always. Yeah, I mean, some things are probably not even available on physical. I mean, there was this time where it was cheaper, like games and movies were a little bit cheaper digitally because the idea was, oh, well, we're not paying for supply chain, we're not paying to reserve space for the games or movies, there's a lot of costs that are just pretty much exempt from the process of putting a product out. But nowadays, people want things to be cost more. And I get the whole inflation argument, but again, the prices are still, in my opinion, over bloated. I mean, you're paying $70 for a game that, well, I don't want to get into this. You're paying for a product that's not as much as you're expecting, right? Because the company is either losing money or because the company made bad purchasing decisions or because the company want to triple their profit. They're like, no, you, the consumer, need to pay for all that. You are going to pay for all that. And that's just not something that I entirely agree with. It's like, no, I don't think I will. I can buy a cheaper, like, indie games. I can buy, or I could search the high seas, wink, wink, just to watch a movie. I don't have to pay what you want me to pay. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say about this. I mean, apparently, you own very little nowadays, and this is the way they want things to be. That's all I gotta say about this. Peace.